Hello and welcome back to the channel. I don't know about you all, but when I wake up in the morning, I'm definitely one of those who asks for peace and direction for the day. You have to ask for peace because you don't know what you are going to see, hear, or encounter from one day to the next. This life is becoming increasingly very, very challenging. As you look around and you don't know what direction the world is headed in, you can get a little bothered by these things. Now, let me clarify that statement because I do know what direction the world is headed in. Many of us knows what direction the world is headed in. I'm mostly speaking about those who live their lives as if they don't. So, there are large groups of people. As a matter of fact, the majority of the population are not paying attention to anything, right? And so you just kind of look at them like, don't you see? Can't you hear? As you go about your days, you see different things happening. You see what people are posting about, what people are talking about, where people are going, what they're doing. You look, and for me, sometimes I look in astonishment to people like that. And it's a place that I call La La Land. Many people dwell there. They have no idea what's coming. And when I say what's coming, I'm not just talking about one particular thing. I'm not just talking about droughts and famines and wars and rumors of wars. I'm talking about the whole shebang. The world has just been hit with a pandemic, that has lasted so far 3 years or close to 3 years. And a lot changed within that time, but you still have those who have been very easily lulled back to sleep, almost as if nothing has happened, almost as if nothing has changed. And when you look at that kind of stuff, you say to yourself, is this really happening? Are people really that asleep? Are they really that out of tune with reality, or out of touch, should I say? They are. People really are that out of touch with reality. I can remember for years, since when I used to do videos out in front of an old green garden shed that we built back at our old place. I can remember sitting out there in front of that green garden shed made out of pallet racks. I would sit there and I would talk about things that were going to be happening in the world. And you fast forward all these years later, and I'm like, man, it's almost as if I was reading a script of today back then. Many of the things that I spoke of back then, some of which weren't even on the radar yet, but we've seen these things coming to pass. Now, they were prophesied, so these were things that were known. They were prophesied. Biblically, they were known, okay? But they weren't on the radar yet. And now, they're not just on the radar, but they are happening. Many back then did take heed, some did not. For those who did not take heed, they are just kind of scrambling, trying to figure things out. So much has happened. I can't even begin, y'all, to tell y'all the scope of some of the things that have happened. I couldn't even begin, because there are so many things and so many different directions to where this life doesn't even seem the same anymore. It's kind of like this. Sometimes you feel like you wish you could go back to your childhood neighborhood or whatever and just kind of plug back into that and just say, well, you know what, I'm just going to forget about all the other stuff that I've ever learned or seen over the years, and I'm just going to plug back into this lifestyle, take that night train to the past, and just dwell there for a moment. Dwell there in that place to where I didn't have to think about stuff as much, right? Dwell there in that area or in that neighborhood where it was just little mediocre minor things that we had to deal with, right? Some of those things do seem mediocre and minor when you compare them to today, the life that we see today, the things that we've seen unfolding today. Now, of course, y'all know I'm not talking about going back to the past. I'm just trying to paint a picture to you, for you. Many of the communities that I've lived in and grown up in, I wouldn't want to go back there for nothing in the world. I'm just trying to make a point about how uncertain things are today. See, the things that we are dealing with today, when we were children, we didn't have to think about those things. In some cases, our parents weren't even thinking about these things. Nobody was talking about C-19 back then. Nobody was talking about EMPs back then. Even though it was prophesied, nobody was really talking about famines and food shortages either, right? There was always something that you can go and get from somewhere. There was always focused hope, or there was always penny candy stores, or cheap loaves of bread. I remember when a loaf of bread was 25 cents. I remember when those little Hostess cakes that you got to spend exuberant amounts of cash for now used to be 15 cents. I remember when a can of soda was 10 cents. Now, listen, y'all. I'm not reminiscing fondly of those things. I'm just giving you some things that as a child, we didn't think about what we think about today. I'm not telling nobody to go out and get no Hostess cake or no loaf of Wonder Bread with Miracle Whip on it. What the heck is that anyway? I said some time ago that I'm going to talk about this Wonder Bread and Miracle Whip separately, right? But anyway, I'm not reminiscing on those things fondly. I'm just trying to get you to understand that we are in a total different reality right now. A pack of meat. Right now, you got to spend a small fortune to get organic meat. Even non-organic meat, people are showing prices. Some people uploaded images of prices that were so off the chain that it would be almost half your paycheck. If you are a person who makes minimum wage, half a paycheck to get one pack of meat. See, many have been sounding the alarm for these types of things for a long time, but people have not been paying attention. We're asking now, are you paying attention? How much more shaking do we need to do to get you to open your eyes and see that this world has changed and it is not going back to any sense of what you consider to be normal? It's not going back there. The ship has already sailed and there is no turning back. I know sometimes when I speak on these things, I tell you I'm not saying these things to frighten you, but to cause you to react or respond or to make you think and fortify. But sometimes when you sound the alarm, you do hope that a little spark of fear would get there to cause a person to say, you know what, I need to get up off my seat and do something. Get up off of that seat of do nothing and do something. In one of my lives the other day, someone chimed in the chat area, and they said that they were able to come together with a group of people to make some things happen. Another person said that they got with a family member and convinced them to let them use some of their land to grow some food on. So some people are to that point where they're not going to sit in the seat of do nothing. They are making moves. They are making decisions. They are going in the right direction. They have already made up their minds that I am not going to sit here. I got to do something. This world has changed, and it is not going back to anything that you think is normal. As a matter of fact, moving forward, things are going to get worse and worse. We are seeing crazy weather patterns that are uprooting lives. Things that have happened before, but there is an increase and they are becoming more violent. These weather patterns are becoming more violent. And not just in coastal regions, but we're talking about Central America. As a matter of fact, I saw a post on AccuWeather that actually said that the tornado alley is shifting eastward. When they say shifting, do they mean expanding? Meaning it's going to stay on its original path, but it's also going to expand eastward as well? Are the tornadoes widening their territory? Is Tornado Alley expanding its territory? Come on, y'all. Think about what I'm saying here. You need to share these videos with your family, those who are sleepers. Sometimes when you try to convince them, it's not enough, but share videos of other people who are talking about this stuff, people who will corroborate what you have been trying to say. Some people get that spark in them when they hear more than one person talking about something. Instead of us being shocked and afraid, we need to start paying attention. Have that little spark of fear to cause you to move, but not fear to the point where you are immobilized and you're just stuck in your fear. Some people actually get stuck in their fear and they don't know how to move forward. Kind of like a deer caught in the headlights and they get stunned by the light and lose their lives. This is not a game. Life as we know it has changed. This is no time to sit in the seat of do nothing. Are you paying attention? Like I said, it's not just one thing happening in this world. There are many things happening in this world, and we are sounding the alarm to those of you who are still sleepers, or those of you who are being lulled back to sleep, or those of you who forget sometimes when you get up and you go about your day that there are some very real and serious things happening on this planet. Things that have been prophesied. Just because you don't understand it, just because you ignore it or don't pay attention, does not mean that these things are going to vanish away. Life is going to continue on, and the things that have been prophesied are going to come to pass. The Most High says that his word has gone forth out of his mouth, and it shall not return void. Let me make that plain for you. Let me keep it simple for you. Our Creator says that he has spoken. There have been things that he has spoken before the foundation of the world. They have been spoken out of his mouth, and they are going to accomplish the things that he has spoken. Even the things that he has put in the mouth of his true prophets. He hath spoken these things, and they shall come to pass. There is nothing no man on this earth can do. No demon in hell, no spirit, no principality, nothing anyone can do to stop what has been prophesied. Are you paying attention? Are you ready? See, this is not just about being physically ready. This is not just about stocking up on food. This is not just about going off grid. This is also about being spiritually and mentally prepared for what is to come. The Bible speaks of frightful things that will begin to happen in the land, things that are above and beyond man's control. How do you prepare for those things? I know that it's easier said than done. I do know that. But I also know this. Our Creator has made a way of escape for those who keep their minds on him. He says, I will keep you in perfect peace if your mind is stayed on me. Perfect peace. We have to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, that he will keep you in perfect peace if your mind is stayed on him. Understanding that can make the difference in life and death. Understanding that can make a difference in how you go about your day. Understanding that it is finished. The story is already written. Just play out your part. And if part of that is to pray and ask for peace, do just that. Understanding this world and the direction that it is going is of utmost importance. Whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on those things. Those are the things that we need to ponder on so that our minds can be kept in peace, so that our minds can be kept in shalom. I am done with this video. I hope that I have said some encouraging words to someone. I hope that you can get yourself in tune with reality and pay attention. Don't ignore the obvious. Until next time, I love you all, and keep your mind on the Creator.